Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watching for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire. Giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, by Hashima Mashiach wa Malaki Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, laboring and patiently waiting for the second coming of our Lord, Hamashiach Yahushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the sisters out there, the Aquaf out there, hold it down in the households, reverencing their husbands for those that are married and those who may not be married are the virtuous sisters who tend upon the Lord without distraction. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, and the elected visitors scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, and everybody tuning in live to another Monday Night Fire. Ezekiel WFI, Don Israel, 144. K, the spirit of prophecy, Sweet Styles, Brother Believe, Elijah Jones, Yeshab Rael, Ibad Athia, right? And everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. All hell may break loose, election day riots and massacres. All hell may break loose. And we're praying to Yahweh Bashmi Shai that all hell does break loose, seeing that tomorrow is the greatest day for a lot of these so-called Babylonians, these modern day Americans. Their great white hope, their savior. You have people likening Donald Trump to King Cyrus, the anointed. You have people who are fasting. I did a cold cut last night where you have people putting spells out there. Witches are coming out, warlocks. All hell is breaking loose, man. Spirits are at odds with one another. Families are divided. It's tension in the workplace. It's damn racial tension, political tension, and people are talking of riots and all hell breaking loose, man. And we're praying that there's civil unrest and that there's glass broken and windows broken and buildings set on fire and martial law and all hell just utterly ensues when this election kicks off, man. And we're praying for that, man. Right now, you can say, well, I don't know about that. We wouldn't pray for that. That's not the Christian thing to do. Jesus wouldn't do that. Well, why do you have curses in the Bible, man? Why do we say the curses when we throw up the prayers, man? We say Shalak Rayam, Wa Enashim, Wa Harakim, Wa Mashpadim, Wa Gadar, Mawat, Al-Kal, Adawanium, Wa Gawayam, etc. And we start throwing up these curses on these nations, man. You know, and why do we throw the curses up, man? That the Most High. Why did Elisha throw up the curses? You know? And 2 she-bears came out and destroyed 42 children, man. Why did Paul throw up the curses? Instead of any man don't believe, let him be anathema maranatha, man. Right? These curses and these prayers for destruction and vengeance are part of being an Israelite in his truth. Now I'm going to read Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 real quick and verse number 1. A lot of brothers, you're just praying for money, cars, fame, your other wife, your second wife. I need me a second wife, please, Jesus. Give me a second wife, right? Yeshua Mashiach, right? Give me my second. You're praying to Yeshua, right? You're praying for money. You're not throwing up these curses, man. We're praying for this place to go down. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and 1. Here's a curse right here. Have actual prayer for the destruction to your enemies. Have mercy upon us, O Lord God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. So there's 18 nations in the Bible. You have the Israelites, you got the Edomites, you got the Moabites, you got the Ammonites, you got the Japhetic the sons of Japheth and their respective nations of Javan and Gomer. You got all these nations. The Most High says, send your fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations and let them see thy power. And why they call it the strange nations? Because they weren't given the law, statutes, and the commandments. They are strangers to the covenants, right? As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God. Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. And this is a prayer. And this is from one of the wisest men, right? One of the wisest men to ever walk the earth. He's saying, or he's making a petition to the Most High that he would show new signs on the earth. What are signs? Blood moons, eclipses, earthquakes, tumults, chariot sightings, heavenly things in the heavens. These things are new signs. And we want to see new signs, man. And we want to see political unrest, civil unrest, businesses being boarded up. We want to see these things, man. We would love to see a civil catastrophe in Babylon the Great, man. We would love to see it, man. And make other strange wonders. And there are things we want the Most High to do to shake up the earth, to shake up the system, man. You know? And we want World War III to kick off. Yes, we are praying for war. We don't want the soldiers to come home. Let these Americans bring the soldiers back. We don't want them to come back, man. We want them to stay over there in the Valley of Decision, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. We want more tornadoes. We're not doing a damn canned food drive for everybody that got destroyed in the Most High's hurricanes. We want more hurricanes, more tornadoes, more wildfires in California. We're not giving you 10 cents a day to put out the wildfires. We're praying for more fire, man. You know, that's part of the curses. Shalak, Ashba, Shimbayat, Babakashah, etc., man. We're praying for fire in the houses of these other nations, man. We want strange wonders. We don't want this to be a normal day, man. Right? We don't want this just to be a day, okay, everybody voted and everybody went home safe. We don't want everybody that votes to go home safe. Yeah, we said it. These people who are idolaters, sorcerers, warlocks, who have put idols and strange deities before Yahweh Shema Shai, and we want those men, these politicians, and these world leaders to be destroyed, man. We're not part of this world. We prophesy against this world. Didn't the Lord say in Jeremiah chapter 28, let me get the classic, and verse 8, right? Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So if you're a prophet of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, then you are prophesying against many countries. All of the countries of NATO, all of the countries of the EU, all of the countries of the BRICS, CSTO, RSII, SCO, Arab League, Peninsula Shield Force, all of these military alliances and political alliances, you are speaking against them. And you want war to come upon them, right? And you want evil, and you want what? You want pestilence, man. Right? And you want pestilence. Right? So we got brothers sending in breaking news. All right. And we got brothers watching, man. Right? So let's read verse 9. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. So if there is no destruction to America, if anybody comes out and says the economy is going to bounce back, you know, the job market is looking better, there will never be any war, and everything's just going to, you know, just go back to normal, then that person will be a false prophet, man. And we'll see. Whoever speaks that, let's see if the Lord sent them, right? But in the meanwhile, we're going to keep throwing up these curses against our enemies, man. Right? Let's read on in Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 7. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Right? Make the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire. That's throwing up the curses that the Most High send fire in their houses. and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen, which are these elected candidates, these officials, up and coming presidents, world leaders, elites. These are the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. And this is a prayer from verse 1 all the way down to verse number 17. This is a prayer you want to be praying in these days, along with other prayers that go into the downfall and destruction of your enemy, man. So there's a lot of spiritual work going on during this election period. The men of the Lord were throwing up curses. Like we went into the cold cut last night. You have witches out there. They throwing up spells, man. Let's see, witches. Let's see, cast spells. Trump, right? So like, let me spell this right. Right? So witches report their spells against Trump aren't working. They said we're throwing up these spells, but they can't work. We're trying to cast spells on Trump, right? So you have warlocks and wizards putting spells out. You got Christians, they are doing their thing. Look, charismatic Christians gather and pray for Trump, likened by a movement leader to the biblical King Cyrus. So they're going into the scriptures. They're reading Isaiah 44, Isaiah 45, First Esdras, Second Chronicles, the 36th chapter, and they're going to these different accounts and they're saying, that man Trump right there, that's King Cyrus, the anointed to free us from our sins and our bondage. So you got Christians out there, warlocks out there, and there's a lot of spirits stirring up in these last days, man. And people are worried. Some people are worried, man. Now, this is from so-called Fox, right? Trump versus Harris. Cities across the United States board up ahead of the election, right? Business owners from D.C., from Washington, D.C. to Portland, Oregon, are taking extra security measures in fear of post-election riots and chaos. And like I said, I'm gonna be mad, man. I'm gonna be mad if it's not a riot, man. I'm gonna have my head down, man. Temporarily, if there's not a riot, if somebody don't get a damn mazel tov. I want to see people with these damn bandanas around their face, black hoods on. I want to see pitchforks. I want to see torches. I want to see mayhem. We want to see damn marching. We want to see scuffles, with the police. We want to see riot gear. And we got a brother put out in one of these chats, man. Let me put this out there. Let me see what the brother said again. All right, let me bring this information out. All right, got inside men. Now the brother said, right, he said the police just came to his shop, asking me to get the riot trailer prepared for tomorrow. So the brother, he's a mechanic and he works for the county and he works on police cars. So he's not just the average mechanic, that works at the, your local chop shop. He works for, certain local federal departments and local departments, So he actually fixes all of the police cars and stuff like that. And he said, let me read it again. The police came to his job and they asked him to get the riot trailer prepared for tomorrow. Right? And this is in one of these cities, man. And the brother said he's a mechanic that works for the county and works on police cars. This what they said today. So they're getting their riot trailers ready. Let's pull up a riot trailer, right? Riot, police, riot. Let's see if we can actually find that. Right? So they got their anti-riot mobile police barrier. And they're telling the people that work on these, hurry up, get done. Hurry up with the damn brakes, man. With the oil change, right? Hurry up and fix it. There's a riot that may happen. Now, again, we don't know how far this thing is going to go. right? We don't know if there's going to be an actual riot or not, right? But we're excited and we're on the edge of our seat. Not that we care we don't care who's going to win, because the Most High is going to set this place up to be destroyed anyway. And he's the one that decides who's going to be in power. Is it not written in Proverbs, the 21st chapter? Let's read Proverbs 21:1. If you are well versed and studied in the Bible, surely you would know about predestination and how Yahweh Shemashai's providence is made manifest. And any ruler and leader, they've been set up by the Most High. This is Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the king's heart, meaning his mind. The word is really lab for mind in the Hebrew. That's what the heart is going into. So the Most High controls every king's mind, right? Every thought, every decision. Rather they declare war on another nation, rather they galvanize the troops, right? Or rather they get the people and the masses of the citizens to be protected, man. Whatever decision, political, religious, damn, for the economy, whatever decision world leaders make, they've been programmed by God to make that decision. He's going to set up who he decides to set up. He's going to put down who he decides to put down. That's what the Most High does, man. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter. Right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. And we're going to touch on this because right now, like the article says, we're going to read a little of this. Cities across the United States board up ahead of the election. They're buying wood. And if you sell wood, man, these Home Depots, Lowe's, and they're making a killing right now. Plywood, and wood ain't cheap. They're boarding up their windows. Businesses, Starbucks, McDonald's, damn, grocery stores. People are calling out of work tomorrow. People are getting drunk tonight. People are going to drink. They're getting high. People are going to pop pills. They're going to get riled up. They're going to do things they never thought that they would do and make decisions and justify it because it's the election time. Horrible decisions are going to be justified. Violence is going to be justified. Sin, sorcery has and will be justified on this day. People are already saying now, not to be long-winded before the precept, that there's massive tension at the workplace, man. I don't know what to do. These Edomites, they're kind of looking at me. I don't know what to do. They keep side-eyeing me. Now, they never side-eyed them prior to this, the election day, but now these spirits on these Edomites, man. They damn cocking their damn shotgun back, man. Jake, they loading up their damn pistols. People are boarding up their houses, right? These things are being done for the prophecy's sake. Let's go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Let's actually, real quick, let's get this. Let's see the prophecy and why you have even talk and rumors of unrest, right? This is the book of Daniel. I'm not going to go into this whole chapter. We did a cold cut on Daniel, the 2nd chapter. We broke the whole thing down. But I would have touch on Daniel chapter 2 and verse number 31. So Nebuchadnezzar the king, who lived and reigned in the Neo-Babylonian Empire, that reigned from 626 to around 539 BC, right? He was their major leader, Nebuchadnezzar II. Now he had a dream of 4 major empires that will come on the earth. He had a dream of the Neo-Babylonian Empire being a head of gold. He had a dream of the Medo-Persian Empire being the arms and the chest of silver. He had a dream and a vision of the Greeks that were coming to power, right? Which is the thighs and the belly of brass. He had a vision and a dream of the legs of iron, which are the Roman Empire. And then he had a vision and a dream of this kingdom who's likened unto feet being part of iron and part of clay, right? Now, let's read this. If you want to see a visual of what this statue looked like, all right, let's just type it in. right? You can go to this statue and the election, right? This Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, civil unrest. It's part of the prophecy that Daniel saw. The dream thereof is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. That's what he told him, the king. He said the dream is certain. Now, what does this actually mean? Right? We're not going to, again, do a whole in-depth breakdown. If you want to go on the Cold Cuts channel, and this is for the sake of time, you can type in Daniel 2, end time visions, right? And there's a whole breakdown on it. But we'll touch on it on a surface level. This is Daniel 2 and 31. This is Daniel breaking a dream down to the king. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass. So when you look up this image right here, right, let's pull this image back up. See if we can get an entire image. Some images are better than others, right? Let's see if we can get, all right, bear with me. We may just, all right, we'll use this one, all right? So the head of gold represents the Babylonian Empire, right? And when you look at this statue, you can it's broken down on 3 different levels. So the metals, they get stronger as you go down the body, right? The head of gold is a malleable, weak metal. Silver is a little bit stronger. Brass is stronger than silver, and iron is stronger than brass, which shows how each kingdom was defeated by the kingdom that will come after them. The Neo-Babylonian Empire fell by Cyrus the Great at the Battle of Opis around 539 BC. Their last leader, Nabonidus and Belshazzar, they were taken out. And then you had the Greeks, like the Medes and the Persians. They were in power from around circa 552 to around 331 BC or so, right? And they were taken out by the Greeks. Darius III, their last ruler at the Battle of Arbela, or the Battle of Gaugamela, most scholars would say, they were taken out. And then the Romans, which is the legs of iron, they took down the thigh and belly of brass, because iron is indeed stronger than brass. So during the Roman Macedon Wars, the Roman Republic came into power, and they took down the Seleucid Empire, which was the prominent empire that broke off of Alexander the Great. The chief battle is the Battle of Corinth. Around 146 BC, the Roman Republic, before they became the empire, took the Greeks down. Now, the Romans are the legs of iron. Now, also, the feet represent these modern day nations, America, and their respective counterparts, which is the other members of NATO, right, and the EU. So the metals, they get stronger as you go down, because the empires and the technology and the military advances as time goes on. Another way you break it down is these metals depreciate. The metals depreciate as you go down. So gold is more valuable than silver because it represents the value and the strength of the empire, meaning there was complete sovereignty and dominion and absolute rule from Nebuchadnezzar. His government was a gold-like government. His rulership was a gold-like rulership. The gold standard, he was likened unto a god. And then the empire, the government gets weaker. So now you have silver, which is by value inferior to gold. So now you have silver because the Medo-Persian Empire was not as structured and strong as the Babylonians. That's why the Medes, you had people coming against the Persians, man. You had their own people getting on the king in the book of Daniel saying, hold on, you're going off. This is the law of the Medes and the Persians that altereth not. You can't reverse this decree that you made. So they was actually checking the king, and you couldn't do that to Nebuchadnezzar. And this was a joint empire, the Medes and the Persians. So they were weaker. And then you had the thigh and the belly of brass, right? Which are the Greeks. The Greeks' structure was weaker than the Medes and the Persians, because they said, we're going to take all the power from the people, from the world leaders, and we're going to give it to the people. So they invented the philosophy of democracy, which is a very weak, very, very weak way to run your society when all of the people have power to elect who's going to rule over them. And then it gets weaker because iron is less valuable than brass. So the Romans, they had a republic, and a republic system is weaker than that of a democracy. And a republic, they had councils, they had two councils, right? They had the plebeians, they had the patricians, they had all the assembly, these different political factions, and they had 300 men in the Senate arguing all damn day. So all hell was breaking loose. So these empires get weaker and weaker. And that's why even the feet, they're so damn depreciated in value. They're called clay. Because this society is so politically damn broken up. Even in America, every state has their own laws. They're divided. Every country in the NATO, they have their own laws, their own government, So it shows, again, how governments get weaker throughout time. And on the first level, it shows how military might increases as time advances. And the third way you break the statue down is the same concept of division. So the head is a singular part of a body, which is one. No division in one's head, right? But then as you go down this body, the anatomy teaches you that the body gets divided the more you go down the body, which represents the government. So your arms and your chest of silver, those are 3 units, left arm, right arm, chest. So it's more division as you go down the body. They're connected, right? But they're divided, right? And then it gets more divided because you have your thighs and your belly of brass, because your thighs are more far apart. That's your lower body, and your belly's your upper body. And then you have your legs and your toes, which are divided, which represents the government being divided as time progresses. And that's why you have sedition, you have assassinations, you have civil unrest, you have turmoil, because you're living in a time of great division and a very weak government. Yes, the military is strong. Yes, they have weapons of mass destruction, but as a whole, you have what you have because you're living in the days of the least inferior metal, or the most inferior metal, Salakia, which is the iron and the clay. You're living in the big toe, which is Babylon the Great. And that's why you have this tension going on, right? You have this, Salakia, get the brothers.
Shalom, King.
Shalom.
Shalom, Kings.
That's why you have this tension going on in the book of Daniel, right? That we're reading about. So let me go back to this. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 33. I'll start at 32. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay, because they have part of Rome in terms of military might, government structure, their republic, and a part of clay. Thou sawest till a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces, which represents Yahushua. He's the stone, right, of stumbling, a rock of offense, the chief cornerstone, if you will, who's going to destroy the system, right? Here's the last verse. It reads, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together. It became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, so that no place was found for them, right? Meaning the destruction carried them away. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth, because Yahweh's name was magnified. Yahweh's name was magnified. So you're living in a time of the toes, right? The 10 toes of the statue, which is part of clay and part of iron, which represents a very weak government, a government that's so weak that people are going to riot, and you can riot. They're going to let these guys riot, man. They're going to let these guys flip over a car. They're letting them board up their houses. They expect civil unrest because they can't prevent it from happening. You know? So these things, what you see on the earth is not just a election event. This is Bible prophecy unfolding before your eyes. Right? Brothers got it.
Con. Yeah, I wanted to get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book, right, of Psalm chapter 61. Just to go to show you that Yahweh Shai is that rock. Right? Yahweh Shai. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 61 and verse number 1. It says, hear my cry, Salaki. It says, hear my cry, O Yahweh, attend to my prayer. From the ends of the earth will I cry unto thee when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. See, Yahweh Shai is known as the chief cornerstone, right? The rock, right? That's going to break all of these nations into pieces, right? So that's just a precept, just going to go into that rock through the spirit being Yahweh Shai. Also, add another precept, most are willing to come to me. My brothers got it.
Come. And I want to get this as well, because again, actually I want to touch on this. I don't want to put this off too long. This is Trump versus Harris. Cities across the United States board up ahead of election. You can see this guy boarding up with his businesses, man, in DC. And we're hoping that things really go down, right? Business owners across the United States are boarding up their windows in preparation for potential post-election fallout. Before voters head to the polls Tuesday, with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris vying for the presidency, several businesses in D.C. were boarded up last week near the intersection of 17th Street Northwest and 8th Street Northwest. Fox 5 DC reported, a short walk from the White House. On the other side of the country, business owners in Portland, Oregon, who were hit hard by violence following the 2016 election and protests sparked by the death of George Floyd in 2020, are also preparing for potential riots. It is completely ridiculous that we have to do this. It was prophecy that you have to do this. Downtown Portland employee Ebony Booger, right? Ebony Boger told ABC News, it's precautionary. And I see why I was here 4 years ago and it was crazy down here. It's not shocking. I'm kind of used to it. I think they should do it. Well, hold on. I think they should do it. Now, I don't know if she's saying board this stuff up and get it ready, or they should riot, you know? So she's saying they think they should riot, man. And people are getting ready. Here's another one. It reads, hopefully no riots. Nobody wants to see anyone get hurt or damage or any damage. And we're not part of this nobody. When they say nobody wants to see anyone get hurt or any damage, I would like to see Edomites get hurt, man. You know, I would like to see judgment on these nations. I would love to see it. I want to see people get hurt. I want to see damage. Now you can get mad. I don't like that, right? I want to hear it. We don't have to hear it. We want to see damage, man. We want this place destroyed, man. We don't agree about this statement right here. Hopefully, no riots. Nobody wants to see anyone get hurt or any damage. After what happened last time, well, last time wasn't enough. I guess you have to be prepared for anything. So, like I said, better safe than sorry. Stacy Snyder told the outlet. So these people are getting ready, man. These people are getting ready for seems like an inevitable riot, whether it's small or great, man. Because this nation is divided. Right? Isn't that the book of Matthew? Let me get that real quick. Book of Matthew, the 12th chapter. Didn't Yahushua speak about division within a nation? This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 12 and 30 and 25. So Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And you're going to have Satan casting out Satan. You have this kingdom divided against itself. That's where you have the 10 toes. Your toes are divided, man. You know, you have Republicans, you have Democrats, you have Make America Great Again, you have Kamala Harris, you have left wing, you have right wing, right? Which shows that this is the eagle. You have all these different divisions going on, you know? And the Most High said, when you have that division, your kingdom's over. You should ask Jeroboam, Solomon, what happens when a kingdom is divided, man? It's completely brought. We would know, if anybody would know that, we would know that. Because anytime we were taken over as a people, our kingdom was divided. When the Assyrians came, it was divided. When the Babylonians came, it was divided. When the Greeks came, it was divided. When the Romans came, you had a civil war going on between the sons of Simon and John Hyrcanus, Alexander, Jannaeus, Aristobulus. All these men was fighting amongst each other when Pompey came in. In 70 AD, we had a kingdom divided. You had the Sicarii, you had the Sadducees, you had the Pharisees, you had the apostles, you had the Essenes, you had the Herodians, you had the just people that didn't know what was going on. You had all these divisions in Israel, man. And it's brought to desolation. Right? But brothers got it.
Con. And I wanted to bring out this precept in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, right, in verse number 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3 says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall raise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right, this is going into all hell breaking loose in the midst of the streets. It's not always going to be peace in your streets. You're going to have riots, right? That's not anything we haven't seen before, right? You had the fire of Rome, like the brother was going into during the time of Aristobulus and all of those different men. You had different divisions amongst our own people and of the heathens, right? These things are going to kick up more and more, and the love of many is going to wax cold. You're not going to be able to have the amount of luxury that you do to do the work of the Most High, to be able to visit your brother, to be able to go to the grocery store, right? These times that we're living in is waxing worse. And you have to be able to be on a level to be able to perceive these things. It says also, when they should be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and the desire shall fail, because men go of long to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. You're going to have a lot of mourners in the streets, man. People's children are going to die. Cars are going to get broken into. People are wives are going to get ravished. Right, when you have a looting, nothing's off. What they call it?
Off
Nothing's
limits.
off limits.
Right.
Right. I mean, you even watch that movie, Barbershop, with Ice Cube, when they was doing all that looting. Right, they was trying to break into the barbershop. Right, all hell was going to break loose. And if you outside stuck in these streets, you could get trampled to death. Right. I mean, anything could happen to you up for grabs. And the police can't calm anything down. They give you the illusion they can, right? And if you're of this beast and you trust in it, you'll think everything is going to be okay, but you don't want everything to be okay. You want the stresses. You want these things that the Lord has spoken about to come to pass. So you should be pushing forth for these things to be revealed. My brother's got it.
Come on. I want to go to Mark, the 13th chapter, too, because the Lord prophesied of this, too, right? The Lord, and it's fitting because Ecclesiastes and as Solomon, we know the Lord came back on the earth or in the earth as Solomon. So it's fitting, right? This is Mark 13, and I'm going to start at verse 7. And ye shall hear of wars and of rumors of wars. Be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. And these wars aren't always global wars. This isn't always talking, this isn't relegated to just Russia and China and Iran and the state of Israel. You have domestic wars. You have what you call a civil war. You have race wars. These are also rumors of wars that they're speaking of. These are internal wars that will affect your life here in Babylon the Great. Your job is going to be affected. Your liberty is going to be affected. Where you're able to go, a martial law could kick off and they'll send the National Guard to block bridges off, man, to shut highways down, to close off exits, man. And you might have to walk. Wars could kick off. False flags could ensue. And they can have all hell break loose and say a black Hebrew Israelite did something tomorrow, man, on the election and make a false flag. It's a high day of sorcery and madness. So you're going to hear about this tension and these rumors of what potentially could happen in the land of the living. Right? This verse 8. For a nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be earthquakes in diverse places, and there should be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. Now, the Lord said there's going to be famines, right? Food shortages, right? Starvation, and also troubles. Now, let's go into this word troubles, right? Let's go into Slakia, this word troubles. It's not talking about, I got in trouble, I got to go to court. No, this word troubled is a little bit more severe, right? The word troubles in the Greek, right? You look it up if you had a concordance, G5015, tar K, right? Tar K, if we're pronouncing that correctly. It says disturbance, commotion, a tumult, sedition. So Yahweh Shah, he prophesied of seditions when he said there's going to be troubles, tumults, riots, right? It says disturbance, just when you go deeper into it, it says of a mob, sedition, troubling. What is a mob? Let me pull up the definition. What is a mob? Yahweh Shah prophesied of mobs, man. A mob is a large crowd of people, especially one that is disorderly and intent on causing trouble and violence, right? So the Lord prophesied of mobs being on the earth, man. Mobs, riots, wars, looting, damn theft, arson, picket signs, throwing rocks, mazel tovs, picking up baseball bats, bricks, damn mask, ski mask, bandanas tied to the face, torches, lanterns, Yahweh Shah said these things are going to happen, man. So we're not making it up. You can't say that we're making it up. How come your Christian pastor isn't telling you that Jesus Christ said there's going to be race wars and tumults and mobs in America? They don't teach that, man. But again, we're going into these prophecies, and this is fitting because it links directly up with the precept the brother went into with Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter. Right? Them shutting up in the streets is because this mob's going to be happening, man. But brothers got it.
Gone. Whenever there's a mob, there's always death. When you recall in history, back even in whether it be the West or the East, wherever there's a mob, somebody's dying. Someone's going to give up the ghost. Such as when they rioted the Capitol. When they rioted the Capitol, somebody died. I think her last name was, I can't remember her name, but she got a bullet in her head.
Right.
In the land of Moab, you had Tiananmen Square, and they murdered a lot of those students. There was rioting. Even when you look into the book of Acts, the 5th chapter, you have Judas of Galilee. He revolted. We go deep into the history. Oh, you about to pull it?
Con,
I believe it's verse 36 or 35.
con,
Acts 5 and 30.
6.
Can I start at 35? I'm sure. Go up a
Con,
little. And said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Judas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. That's like when you have these movies, you have these factions, they're always giving up the ghosts at mass. So you have to be mindful not to join and follow these men that are proclaiming to be somebody that they aren't. A lot of new people are going to come up and say, well, look, follow us because X, Y, and Z. Well, first off, follow no man. Don't put your trust in man, like it says in Psalms. But trust in Yahweh Shai, because he's going to be the one that's going to direct your steps. Because it even reads in Proverbs 16 and 9, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. And that verse applies to both the wicked and the righteous. Because on the left-hand side, the wicked man, he's going to go to have this tumult, these councils. They're getting ready now. And they're ready to riot and rampage if they don't get their way. But the Lord is allowing that to happen. Most High is allowing these men to get their pitchforks, their guns, their swords, whatever other artillery that they may have, or propaganda, or voice. They're going to, it's going to go down. And as for the men and women and children on the right hand side, he's going to guide us accordingly, not to follow after men, not to follow after this keeping this election, right? Voting, which in itself is witchcraft, right? We're going to follow strictly after the Lord, Yahweh Shai, and trust that he directs our steps in a righteous path. And the
con,
Lord said also, it's like follow not after a multitude to do evil. A mob is evil. A mob doesn't come with good intentions. That's never happening. Whenever there's a riot, there's never people with Bible precepts ready to bring it out and spread and glorify the name of the Lord. That's not happening. When there's a riot, there's bricks, and they're not going to make a house, right? That's ready to fly through a window and hit you in the forehead. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rush judgment. And that's the perfect way to sum up what's going on. That's what's happening. And he's on the right hand and left hand. Democrats are saying, follow me, follow me. And the Republicans are saying, don't follow him because X, Y, and Z. Vote for so-and-so. And I approve this message. And a lot of you simpleton jakes, you following. You said you voted and you're wearing that nasty sticker. Says I voted. Pecan.
And I want to get one precept that made me think of the precept you brought out in Acts, right? This is another example of a riot and a mob in the book of First Kings, the 12th chapter. Now, when you read First Kings, the 12th chapter, this is the beginning of the division between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. When Rehoboam, which is the son of Solomon, he's over the southern kingdom. And then you have Jeroboam, who's about to be over the northern kingdom. And remember, Solomon was oppressing a lot of the northern kingdom, right? And a lot of the tribes with heavy taxes and heavy levies that he was putting out on the people. So you had a man that was over the taxes, over the tribute, an exactor. His name was Adoniram. And Adoniram, or Adoram, he was over the tribute during the time of David. He was over the tribute during the days of Solomon. And he was over the tribute when Rehoboam was on the scene. So he was a faithful man. But when people are displeased, when money is tight, when things aren't going their way. And a lot of these Americans, man, they living hard, man. Groceries are expensive, gas is expensive. They're not able to, take their sons to the beach. They can't go and afford their winter cabins and their summer houses anymore, right? They can't afford them trips to the beach, and to the islands like they used to. And they really believe in their mind that it's Joe Biden's fault. So they're angry at Joe Biden. People are literally, and he doesn't know what's going on. He's a puppet, like every so-called president before him. So people are tense right now. People are very uncomfortable. And let's see what people do when they're uncomfortable, man. Right? This First Kings 12, and I'm going to read verse, I believe this is what I want. First Kings 12 and 17. It reads, "But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute." So they sent this man to collect the taxes. "And all Israel stoned him with stones, that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him to up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David to this day." So that's a mob. You got to picture that, man. Rehoboam, he oppressed the people and said, I'm gonna chastise you with whips and scorpions. And it was already being oppressed. Money was tight. Things were hard. So Rehoboam in his folly, I know Adoram was like, damn, I gotta go. Shit, this damn knucklehead, man. Send me here to collect this damn money. They might want to kill me. And they formed a mob. Word got out. Adoram is here. For what? I ain't paying him. I ain't paying him either, man. I'm gonna kill him next time I see him. And so this was talk, man. This was, people kind of getting riled up, and they start picking up stones, and I'll stone him when I see him. And somebody threw a stone at him, probably said, "Hey, cut it out, man." And then he saw another stone coming at him and, kind of blocked it. Then more stones came, and then he started getting hit in the head. And Rehoboam kind of saw what was going on, and they was probably chasing him down. That's why it says he made speed. Because he was probably being chased, man, by Israel, man. So this all hell was breaking loose, man. When things get hard, this is another example of riots due to political decisions that should not have been made by King Solomon, And these world leaders, they're making decisions that should not be made. And the people, they're tense, man. And they're going to do things like this, man. The brothers got it.
Yeah, that remind me of John chapter 18, right? It was a mob when they came to get Yahushua, right? They had lanterns, torches, right? A mob of people, they were all coming, right, to our Lord. This is the book of John chapter 18, right? In verse number 2. "And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Yahushua all time resorted thither with his disciples." And that's off. So he knew exactly where he was going to be, where he resorted thither. "Judas then having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons." And as this is going to be a mob of people in the streets, there's no telling what they're going to have, man. Bats, weapons, right? Mace, knives, swords. One thing about Esau is he can't wait to shoot his gun, man.
Right.
He been playing with his shotgun and polishing it all night long. Right, man. Pulling the damn blood off his knife and his rocking chair at 85 years old, just waiting for a so-called black kid to trip on a bike, man. Right. So they're gun ho. They're happy. They're gun happy. So it says, cometh thither with lanterns, torches, and weapons. Right. And I probably said this before, but I was working with Esau at my job, and he was talking about the end of the world. The Lord just put it on his spirit to just start revealing how evil Esau is. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm getting ready for the end of the world." Now, I didn't say anything, and he was like, "Yeah, I got my guns, I got my shotguns, I got this. I'm thinking about buying some land." Now he just gave me his whole spiel. He said, "Me and my wife and my children, we going to get a shotgun. Shotgun. You should get you a shotgun. And he just started telling me all of this stuff that, you know, what he was planning on doing if all hell started breaking loose. And I was really like an eye opener. I was like, well, all praise to the Most High. He put it in his devil spirit, and he's an average Joe, right? So how much more of these people that really have the money and the connections to get weapons? It says Yahweh, therefore, knowing all things, should come unto him, went forth and said unto them, whom seek ye? They answered him, Yahweh of Nazareth. Yahweh saith to them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. But that was the point, right? That when all hell breaks loose, or the mob or the people or the city or the citizens or whatever, they want a job or something done, they're going to do it by all means necessary, man. It said he came with officers, right, in the streets. But you got it.
Con. And I want to pull this up, man. So these riots are biblical. We're showing you through the precepts, riots are biblical. Now, this is from today, or November 3rd. So like, what is that? Sunday, right? November 3rd, but it was updated, later that evening. This is from USA Today. Trump supporters expect election fraud and violence. And you already had people that was burning mailboxes and booths out there in I believe that was Portland, somewhere in the West Coast, maybe Washington. People they already started burning stuff, man. Ballot boxes and things of that nature. So let's jump down to this. It reads, Bill Robinson believes it's inevitable that the 2024 election ends in violence. A retired marketing professional, Robinson, 65, traveled to New York City from his home in North Carolina to attend former Donald Trump's to attend Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally last month. So this guy spent money, man. North Carolina to New York. That could have been vacation money, money for his son, his grandsons. He said, I'm going to a rally for Trump, right? Now, he said it's inevitable. It's a horrendous possibility, but it looks like there's no other option than some kind of extreme unrest, right? Robinson said as he stood outside Penn Station wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" hat. If Trump loses, Robinson predicts unrest on the right. If Trump wins, Robinson is worried about how the left will react. And everybody's worried, man. Like I said, people are hitting brothers up, and I don't know what to do. The Edomites are looking at me. They're side-eyeing me at the workplace. They're not looking my way anymore. I'm being roped up for things I've never done. I'm at the grocery store and it's quiet and people are looking at each other. So this is a big deal, in a lot of different places, man. People are being mistreated. They're looked down upon. People who like Araya said, people are getting their guns ready. They're buying ammunition. We went into that, how ammunition sales have been increasing during these days. People are getting all of their bullets ready. People are calling out of work. People are really getting into this thing, man. Right? Let's read on a little bit of this. It reads, he's not alone among supporters of the former president. Many of the Trump followers interviewed at his New York rally said they are worried about rising tensions and anticipating violence. The two assassination attempts against Trump have heightened concerns, right? Some echoed Trump's unfounded claims about a stolen election in 2020, which culminated in the attack on a U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Right? I believe that's what Yarragon was going into, and are prepared to reject the results if he loses again. Now, we don't know how and what the Most High has in store. Now, the Most High can have Donald Trump and put the spirits of them to elect Kamala Harris. Because really how it works is the Most High put the spirit in these elites. And these elites, they select who's going to be in office according to their sorcery and their agenda. they consult with the augurs and the warlocks. But it's all done by the Most High. So they can try to perform some type of experiment to say, let's see how much wars and unrest we can cause. Because they work with sorcery behind the scenes. Why do you think they made, not to be long-winded, why do you think they made the movie Purge, election year? Why do you think they made the movie Civil War? They made that in advance. That's what you call witchcraft. Or today you may call it predictive programming, subliminal messages. They're telling you what they want to do. And a lot of these people that are getting ready to riot because he's got that demon from that movie on them. That demon's still in their mind, programming their mind to react to election tension, right? And brothers remember that movie, Purge. Let me pull that up real quick.
Election year, I think. Yeah. Said it.
Purge election year, 2016. You know, and they made that movie. What is this? 8 years ago? You know, 8 years ago. So they put this stuff in your face. And what is the purge? To purge out all of pretty much every damn body, man. You know, and the government set that up. So who's to say that they don't want another purge? So they had this movie, The Purge, you know, and they always got to put the so-called black man and black woman in there. Because you got to get involved too. They want you to get involved. They want you to think that this is your fight. And he had the movie Civil War. Right? So they put this right in front of your face. Let me get one quick precept. Right? This is Revelation chapter 18 and 23. One quick precept on that. So a lot of people, man, they have been bewitched. And they don't even know what's going on. Revelation chapter 18 and 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Right? And that includes the Israelites. A lot of people are deceived by the sorcery, subliminal messages, predictive programming, false assassination attempts, warlocks, and things to rile up. They're riling up the people, man, and stirring up these spirits. The brothers got it.
I was going to get Proverbs 21 and 15. It is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. And these candidates, these officials, these people that are highly esteemed, and of course I'm speaking towards Kamala and Trump, they're highly esteemed. And they're going to work iniquity regardless of who's in office. Because similar to what the brother was saying, you can't frustrate the will of the Lord. I mean, however it plays out, I mean, it's going to play out. And it's not going to stop Daniel from coming to pass. It's not going to stop that rock from hitting the toes. It's not going to stop nothing. But nevertheless, on a carnal level, I mean, if Kamala's in, she's going to, I believe she stated that she's going to make weed recreational for everybody, which is madness. In addition to that, it was in her agenda for the so-called black man to smoke weed. And then they got the agenda for the Hispanic man. They get houses, you know, and then just madness. There's a lot of confusion and silly stuff going on. That's why the work is iniquity. And being a worker of iniquity, I mean, you're going to reap destruction. I mean, for us Israelites, we're going to have a field day. Now, of course, we know we're not the elect, or we don't know if we're the elect, I should say, in better phrase of words. We don't know if we're the elect. You know, we don't know if they're with the 1/3, for Daniel, Peter on earth. But I'll say this much. We're excited to see what's happening because it's still a blessing to be able to live and see the things transpiring across the world, even the events, global geopolitics. It's like a geopolitics. It says in Ecclesiastes, loosely paraphrasing, that a dead lion is better than a living dog or a sick dog. You know which one I want?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
I think that's 9 and 4.
Con, that sound right.
Con. Con.
The water.
Con.
For to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope. There is hope. As long as you're living, you should always
Right.
have hope. You can't see these things going down. What should I do? Should I get my guns? This brother brought out this Edomite is going to get his guns and shotgun. I don't have any shotguns. I don't have a gun. I don't know how to shoot. I don't know how to aim. He starts worrying, rinse his clothes, and fast until the Lord comes back consecutively and quits his job or sells his kidney. A lot of brothers are going to run out their wits on where to seek salvation, but that's why you watch these videos. You stay hip, you fast with wisdom, you study, you pray, you remain circumspect. You build yourself up through the Spirit, and know that your hope is going to lie in the Most High God. It's not going to lie in guns. Guns jam all the time. Anything fabricated by man is at risk of just breaking and being faulty. That's why the battle is of the Lord. Some trust in chariots and horses, but a horse can give up the ghost and have a heart attack. A sword can break. Swords break too. Swords can chip and get dull. People can miss. So the battle is of the Lord. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. And that's to say, you don't have to be the mightiest man to persevere because the battle isn't given to the strong, right? Neither the race to the swift. So, in all things that's happening, with all things considered, Israel continue to have hope in the Lord that He's going to protect and guide you. It's a reason that we went over in time past, brothers and sisters, the children of Israel's dreams, because they're meant for comfort. Any time that you pray for comfort or wisdom from the Lord, the Most High is going to show you that comfort through a testimony or perhaps precepts or maybe even a video and breakdown. And when you watch these things, that's the Lord providing you comfort and hope. But with that, I yield.
Con. And this is here now. Here's something else. This is let me pull this up. This is where we at. Finishing this article. It reads, I'm gonna finish a little bit of this and we're gonna move on to the next one. So this is from that same article from the USA Today. While disavowing violence, some Trump supporters also said or implied that action of some kind could ensue if the election results are perceived as unfair. So they want to riot, right? If he don't win, they're going to riot. They're not going to say, oh, Kamala Harris, she won fair and square. Anything that's not Donald Trump winning, hey, all hell is going to break loose. You know? It reads, I don't
Real
think
quick.
violence is ever justified, but that's never stopped it, Robinson said. So you got to watch Robinson, right? He's the same one earlier who said, what did this man say? He says we need to do something extreme, right? He said there should be some kind of extreme unrest. So Robinson is off. And Robinson is 65 looking to kill a Negro, you know, from North Carolina. And we done seen some things that this might just get lynched in North Carolina not too long ago. We went to we was at where was we in North Carolina? We were somewhere, man. And we saw, kid you not, we saw a human trafficking enterprise going on. You know? So a North Carolina has a lot of spirits in it, man. And we still got that footage, man.
Right.
Hey, that'll be, man, that should do a cold cut on that.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, just show that footage. And we didn't put all right, now we're gonna move on, right? We're gonna move on. Hey, but we still got that footage, man. And we were led to believe, hey, everybody in that town was involved on that, man. So we had to hurry up and get out of there. You know, yeah, brothers kind of laughing it off. Yeah, brothers not. No, it was going down. So some spirits be out there in North Carolina, man. We have actual footage of beds chained up to the wall.
Blood.
You said what?
Blood.
Blood, teddy bears, and candy canes, and damn Chick-fil-A wrappers so they could feed the kids. You know, right outside the Airbnb, and they used that for Jake. Now, we don't know what they did to those children when we got there, but when we left, they put them back in those cages. You know? So, hey, there's spirits out there. And that was probably Robinson's house, man. Tomorrow, this thing should go down. We need some type of extreme violence. Let's read this quote again. I don't think violence is ever justified, but that's never stopped it. He probably said that with a smirk on his face, man. Holding on to his gun. Thinking of the Negroes he killed, you know, and lower level Edomites that got in his way. Particularly in America, if somebody is stealing an election, they're committing treason. We used to execute, see that? It's coming out. We used to execute traitors. Last time we executed, and who uses that in their vocabulary like that? Just so freely. Yeah, we used to execute them. Violence, execute. So this Robinson is off, man. We used to execute traitors. And this is what they're going to do to us. Because they're going to call us traitors. Last time we executed Democrat traitors was in 1953 with Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. Those sound like Amalekites. We may have to pull that up. Are you telling me nobody's committed treason since then? So he's looking at, and this is saying a lot. We're thinking of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, Isaiah, the 30th chapter. I'm just like Jeremiah chapter 36 on down, Matthew 24, 15 through 21 on down, Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 on down, about the execution of traitors. And he wants to, you could, if I was there, you could probably feel that demon in him. He's looking to get his rocks off. Let me get one quick precept, right? Let me go to Proverbs real quick, chapter 4. Right? These guys are looking for violence, man. And they have to be politically correct to a certain degree. Nobody really wants it. And, but if it happens, we're going to kill everybody. That's how they coming off, man. This Proverbs chapter 4 and verse number 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. So they're not going to go to sleep. There are Edomites that are staying up 24/7. They're drinking Budweiser, a Miller Lite, a Coca-Cola. They're eating a Big Mac. They're watching Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, and they're going to stay up all night and watch Fox News. They're going to go to vote half drunk. They're going to bring their family around, their incest babies around their TV screen and their dirty house, and they're going to watch the election and get drunk and freak off and yell at the TV monitor, the TV screen, and foaming at the mouth, and they're going to pass out, then wake back up and see the election. They're going to stand up and fold their arms in front of the TV, and they're going to go out and shoot their guns, man. But brothers got it.
Con, you got it, y'all know.
I was going to say a quick point. Esau, they were, what do you call it? A sore loser.
Right.
That's what they got to say is going to be rigged.
Right.
I mean, that's the only thing they can say. That's the bullet in their chamber. If Trump loses, the conservatives, the right wings, they're going to say it's rigged. And rigged, saying it's rigged is code term for we're going to flip some tables.
Right.
We're turning this house upside down. They're getting their way. They had the movie Civil War and the other movie, Greensboro. I believe that was the name. Oh, yeah, brother got it up. And the movie Greensboro, where these southern conservative states, they flipped tables. They turned it upside down. They turned the world of America upside down. And it says in Psalms 140, A psalm of David, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man. Because he's violent. He just has to say, mention execution, and it's supposed to be political talk. Why are you mentioning people dying? What are you doing? Do your job, right? Just stay on cue. He's mentioning death and destruction in
Right.
the midst of a political conversation, which imagine mischief in their heart continually. Are they gathered together for war? Whenever I think of Esau, I think of that song, We're Not Gonna Take It. I think of them just listening to that over and over and over and over.
Right.
That's their warm-up music. You know, celebrity sports players, they got their warm-up music. That's Esau's. In Maccabees, it reads that, and I have to pull it, that they made rage the leader of their battle. Rage and violence just sits in the bosom of their heart to the point that they gotta speak about it. It's gonna slip out their mouth. And perversion as well. Perversion is second to violence when it comes to Esau speaking. If it's not violence, it's perversion. And it's talking about being an ecosexual and laying down with robots by the year 2025. It's the third chapter,
Second Maccabees 10 and 28.
10 and 28, the water. Now the sun being newly risen, they joined both together, the one part having together with their virtue, their refuge also unto the Lord. See, that's Israel, for a pledge of their success and victory. We believe in a Lord that he's going to help us, provide for us. On the other hand, the other side making their rage leader of their battle. Can you Google the word rage, Baba Kashar? Rage is an insane word. Their temper, their fury.
So it says violent, uncontrollable anger.
That's the only way they can win. Through their sword of uncontrollable violence. Seethed, to be enraged, to blow out, to have a hissy fit, a bad mood, a grump, a tantrum, a fury. This is all attributes and synonyms of an evil demonic spirit made flesh. He's going in a frenzy. That's why they call it a white hot flash or a white hot anger.
Salaki, real quick, second Edris, they call him madmen.
Right.
Yep. He's a madman. I'm gonna get one more precept, then you got it, God. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Salah. In Psalms 140 and verse 4. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who have proposed to overthrow my goings. And you Jakes, you so-called blacks, I don't know what's going on. I believe they call them now NPCs, you non-playable characters, right? They don't know what's going on. Esau's going to come for you too. And you're not even a politician. You're not in DC. You're just working your regular 9 to 5, smoking weed and getting drunk and breaking the Shabbat. And Esau's going to come for you too. Just because when somebody's rageful and angry, they lash out at everybody. And they're ready. And they actually want to kill you too, to be honest. Esau wants to kill you if you didn't know. But Khan, you got it, God.
Khan, you got it.
Now go ahead, King. I was gonna go back to this other article.
Okay, Khan. Yeah, I was just gonna bring out this quick point. When you read Kings, all throughout the Kings, they were always conspiring against one another. You understand, for the throne. And that's what's going on, right, with this wickedness in high places. Like the brother was going into, you got these elites, and they're already mapping out what they're gonna do. Right. So I mean, it's not anything that's new that's gonna come to pass. These elites are controlling the earth. Right. This is First Kings. I want to get this quick precepts. 16 and verse number 9. And somebody's always conspiring against, right, somebody in high places to take their spot, their throne. It says, and his servant Zimri, captain of half his chariots, conspired against him as he was in Terah, right, drinking himself drunk in the house of Azra, steward of his house in Tisra. And Zimri went in and smote him and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, right, king of Judah, and reigned in his stead. Right, so somebody's always taking somebody out of the leadership position and reigning in their stead, right, in subtlety and wickedness. So don't think that that isn't going on too, right? When you look at Donald Trump, these elites and how they're moving people around, right? They're bloodthirsty and they all want to rule. But you got it.
Con. That's right. All hell is breaking loose, man. Now this is let's see, this is from the time.com. It says a brief history of voting problems on election day. So there's always been intimidation tactics, wars going on, violence going on, people killing each other, stabbing each other. So I'm gonna jump down, I'm gonna read a little bit of this because a lot of people think this stuff is new. It says, though election day violence and rioting was relatively common throughout the country in the mid 18th century, historian David Grimstead has counted 35 election day riots. And hold on, that's a lot, huh? How many presidents, do they have, huh? I damn near lost track. What is it, about 50?
Yeah.
I don't know how many it
like
is.
46. I don't know.
Let's pull it up. Right? How many? Now you can get mad. Well, how come y'all don't know that? Right? How come y'all don't know how many presidents? Hey, it's certain things, we're not completely invested in, huh? How many presidents have been? See, I looked it up. Mine took it to automatically saying how many presidents have been assassinated, huh? See that? How many presidents have they had? 46. There you go. You're right, Yardan. See that? 46. Now you have 46 presidents and you have 35 election day riots, right? 35 election day riots. Slovakia. So that's what? 76%. Just always riots and madness going on. So it says he's counted 30, and that's the ones he counted. Maybe he missed one. He counted 35 election day riots and 89 deaths as a result of that violence between 1828 and 1861. So you Negro says voting, if you was out there, you would have got caught up in this thing because you wasn't allowed, you was in captivity. So while you was in the cotton field, the sugar cane field, in a big house, these Edomites, they've always been looking for a reason to kill each other. It was not always the result of spontaneous voter hysteria. Rather, even after the 14th Amendment guaranteed Black men the same rights of citizenship that white Americans enjoyed, violence meant that in practice, the right was only briefly enjoyed by the Black population. Octavius Cato, a Black man who had helped the Union in the Civil War, was an intellectual and skilled teacher, was shot in Philly in 1871 for voting. See that? So they shot this man. They killed this man. And maybe it was two Edomites who were already fighting each other and they made peace and said, you know what? Let's stop our fight. You see this nigger voting? So they put their guns up and they ran up on him and they shot him in the back of the head. So you Jakes, man, a lot of you Jakes, man, you vote for Trump. We saw him at the harbor. They didn't even want to look our way. We were so much of just scum and just trash to them. They didn't even really look our way. We tried to call them to hear the words of the Lord, but they were looking for all Edomites. Those guys, they're going to get caught up in this thing. It reads, when Indianapolis held city elections in May of 1876, there were reports of African-American voters being physically attacked at polling places. And in the presidential election that year, one white supremacist in South Carolina demanded, check this out, and all you Negroes are Democrats. He demanded every Democrat must feel honored, bound to control the vote of at least one Negro by intimidation, purchase, keeping him away, or as each individual may determine, meaning you could kill him if you want to. Every Democrat should kill a Negro. This is the mind of the so-called white man. So you can say, well, I'm a Democrat, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. They don't love you, man. The Democrats started while you was in slavery. They said we have to kill at least one Negro or intimidate them or buy them or keep them away. But it's wickedness. Now they called this guy a white supremacist. He's just a regular old Edomite. So you Jakes, man, if you don't call and reach out and to the email, I don't know what to do. Shalom, brothers. Right? I'm at the voting booth and they're looking at me. They're intimidating me. What do I do? Don't call us. Don't email us if you're at the voting booth and you're getting side-eyed by Edomites. If they're circling your house with wagons and horses, you know, they following you home because you went to the voting booth. They ask you who you voted for. You've been intimidated, ganged up on outside these voting booths. Don't hit us up, man. That's on you. That's your problem now. You know, it reads, we're not going to read this whole thing, but it reads, damn, this whole thing is good. But it reads, a letter from an African-American man headlined in the New York Times as how they voted in Mississippi described the intimidation that faced those who did get the vote, who are forced on threat of violence to vote the opposite of what they wanted. Reports of such tactics led to congressional investigation, during which one man testified that in Louisiana, he saw 50 colored men marched up to the polls by a guard of white men and voted the Democratic ticket, being required to show their tickets before voting, reported by the Detroit Free Press. That's a cut to all you people that want to vote Democrat and you're a so-called black man or a black woman or Hispanic or Native American. These Democrats will kill you, man, and lynch you and rob you. So you calling yourself a Democrat doesn't make you any better than what they call a Republican. They're both demonic entities set up to beguile you and overthrow you. You know? So these are the violent things that Esau has done to our people during the time of these elections. Now, here's another quick thing. This is the OC massacre. I may be butchering the name. OSOE massacre. Right? Now, check this out. We're not going to read this whole thing, but it reads, the OSOE massacre was a mass racial violence event that saw a white mob attack numerous African-American residents in the northern parts of OSOE, Florida. Now, you don't really hear about so-called black mobs. Jake really don't get together in mobs. You know, it might be a fight, you know, between Jakes, and then it might go their ways, or it might be a shootout, or, you know, between Jake and, you know, they going through the curses. But mobs are predominantly done by Edomites. They've been making mobs since forever. Right? So let's read on. OSOE was the home to 255 Israelite residents and 560 white residents. So they were outnumbered. According to the 1920 census, the massacre took place on November 2nd, 1920, the day of the U.S. presidential election, leaving a lasting political but also community impact as the 1930 census, wow, check this out, shows 1,180 whites 11 Native Americans, and 2 African Americans. So in 10 years, they went from 255 African Americans. Now they said there's only 2. They went from, how many Edomites was this? Where's that number at? 560 to damn near double, 1,180. So what the hell happened? We know what happened. You Negroes that want to vote, let me get this precept. You want to go out your way. What did the Most High say? Let's go to Psalms chapter 125 and verse number 3.
I got a precept after you.
This Psalm chapter 125 and verse 3. The rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands into iniquity. What does that mean? It means the Most High, he will not allow these Edomites to harm you or kill you unless you're willfully sinning and going off. Then you're going to get hit with the rod. Then you might get jammed up, lynched, robbed by Edomite, house set on fire. We went into how voting is witchcraft. The word vote means to make a promise to a God, you know? So if you're committing idolatry and you're voting, don't be surprised when the rod of the wicked comes, man. That's what happened to Jake back then. You thought you were doing a great thing by voting. You're going off. So the Most High stirred up an adversary like he did during the days of Solomon. He stirred up Hadad the Edomite to vex Solomon. And the Lord did that to all the Israelites that lived in Oso-E, Florida. They went from 255 to 2 of them because they decided to trust in oppression. But you got it, King.
And the same during the time of Samuel, when you read 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter,
Yep.
right? The 12th chapter, right? When you go into Judges, right? This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 8, and verse number 18. Right? 1 Samuel, chapter 8, and verse number 18. Right? And it reads, it says, and ye shall cry out in that day because of your king. Right? See, right now, a lot of Jake, they want to put the king on a pedestal. They want to show him reverence. They actually think things are going to change. Who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? Right? We're not voting for anybody. Right? Your mind's wrapped up too much in America and what you think is going to happen and flourish. We're looking for this place to be destroyed, not for this place to continue. You're really a part of trying to continue on the wickedest captivity that the Lord has ever put Jake in, man. Right. You're literally a cause of us to stay in captivity. I mean, it just goes beyond you just being a foolish man or woman to vote, right, and to deny the words of God. I mean, there's so many layers to this. You trust in your oppressors. You love in America. And the Lord said, let me get this quick precept in Revelation. If you vote and you're not in the book of life, right? Revelation chapter 13 and verse number 8. Hey, the Lord said, all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life. So you're worshiping the beast. How do you worship the beast? By prolonging the days of the beast, by putting the beast on a pedestal, by making sure that the beast is set up to continue to rule. So if you vote, you're not in the book of life. It really is that simple and that deep at the same time. Stop thinking that what law says I can't vote or why can't I vote? While we're in captivity, we have to survive. We have to make sure that things will be okay for our children. And we don't care about anything that this beast promises us, which is all lies. When have Esau ever told you the truth? Right? He'll tell you you're getting $15 an hour, $17 an hour, $28 an hour. And when your check comes, is it ever correct? Don't money always come up missing? Ain't taxes and things just out of nowhere just accumulate the RR45? And what the hell is that? Oh, that's just taxes. Right? When has he ever told you the damn truth? Yet you still want to believe and trust in what this beast tells you to do. It says, shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Right? Going back to 1 Samuel, right, chapter 8 in verse number 18, right? So you cannot be voting. That goes against everything we stand for as a nation of people. You're going to be just like those wicked Israelites during the time of Alexander and Antiochus that wanted to prolong and join themselves, right, with the heathen. It says, and ye shall cry out in that day because of your king. Meaning you're going to regret everything that you did by turning your back on the Most High, which ye shall have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. Right? So if you put trust in this God, the Most High is not going to hear you. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. Why? Because they saw that the grass seemingly was greener on the other side. They saw the other nations. They saw them voting and them putting up a king, and we want this man, we want this warrior, we want this captain, we want this leader, and all the people came together. You understand, that the heathen to proclaim things that they want in rulership, but that was never our customs or what we did. And the Lord set up leaders. It says, and they said, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go in, so like, and go out before us and fight our battles. So I mean, the Lord will give you over to what you want. See, if it's in your mind to do wickedness and evil, and the Lord will give you over to that. I'm gonna get another quick precept, right, in the book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse number 13. Psalms chapter 106 and verse number 13, right? And it reads, it says, they soon forgot his works, they waited not for his counsel. So because you wait not for the Most High, right, you're going to fall into temptation. See, waiting for change is waiting for Yahushua, not looking for change at a society and voting in it. You have to wait for the counsel of the Lord. That don't mean you go out the way of the Lord to seek counsel of this world. It says, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted God in the desert. And like we always say, we're in the wilderness right now, right? Babylon's a dry and thirsty land where no water is. And a lot of brothers are lusting in this wilderness. They're lusting for those cucumbers like they did from old. And they're lusting for the things that Egypt can give you, right? Egypt can give you, all things on the left-hand side: food, a big house, cars, women, luxury, gold, silver, right? And it could give you seemingly hope. You can have hope in your house, child, when you put your hope in this world. But lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted God in the desert. This is the point. And he gave them their request. So, I mean, whatever you want and you lust, the Lord will give that to you, man. Everything that you want, that you get, isn't always a blessing. Don't think that just because you went out the way and you bought that nice car, you really moved to Arkansas, whatever the case, you moved in haste, that was really of the Most High. Because the Lord will give you over to that. You want to lust? Go ahead. You don't want to follow me? Go ahead. You want to turn your back on me? Go ahead. It says, and he gave them their requests, but sent leanness into their souls. Right? But brothers got it.
Come. That's right. So you brothers, man, and I want to pull this up too because we keep speaking on it. To add to that, this is the word vote. See, the magic pops up. Right? You go to the etymology of the word vote. It means from the Latin votum, which means a vow, a wish, a promise to a god. So it's nothing but idolatry. We do our own vows, right? We say, if Yahweh Shai allows me to destroy, 100,000 Edomites, then I'm going to offer to the Most High 100,000 lambs. That's a vow. So then you go out, you kill the Edomites, and you fulfill your portion of the vow, and you offer up your 100,000 lambs. That's how a vow works. The Most High gives you promises, and you fulfill acts to keep that and fulfill that promise. So a lot of people, you're voting, you're making a promise to a God. What you're saying essentially is Kamala Harris is my God, or Joe Biden is my God. And you even heard promises that they said they were going to give you. Kamala Harris, she said, I'm going to support the middle class and the working families. Donald Trump said, I'm going to build the wall again. So he's giving you these promises. I thought the Most High was the only God that gave us promises about putting us in our land. about giving us spiritual bodies, about subduing our enemies. The Most High has promises for us. You look up how many promises are in the Bible, there's over 3,000 promises in the Bible. But then you made a promise to a God and said, I am going to elect you. I am going to choose you based off of the promises you said you're going to give me. So you go to that voting booth and you make your body a sacrifice. So voting is outright idolatry. Outright idolatry. A solemn pledge. Like an oath, right? A dedication. To promise, to dedicate. So you are in the highest level of sin when you vote, right? It's in the Bible, right? That's the etymology of the word vote. You know, and again, just going into this, suffrage is the right to vote, right? But what does it really mean? It means prayer, especially intercessory prayers or pleas on the behalf of another. Right of voting, voting tablet. But it really means to make prayer for a God and for yourself to the God that you have chosen. So this entire system is making you think that you have the ability and the liberty to choose a person for your behalf, but you're really committing the highest sin that you can ever commit, which is idolatry. You're breaking the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And you're making these people your gods. That elephant for the Democrat, right? That what's that? The donkey. One of them are for the Democrat, one's for the Republican. You know what I'm talking about. It's the elephant and the donkey. And you're worshiping four-footed beasts, man. You know, people got damn elephants on their walls and donkeys because you're trying to decide what party to choose for. This is nothing but idolatry. And that's why when we went into this article, you had this massacre where the population was reduced massively. On what day? On election day, which is a high day of murder and violence. You know? Let me jump down a little bit on this. It reads, by most estimates, a total of 30 to 80 Black people were killed during what has been considered the single bloodiest day in American political history. You see that? So you Negroes, you are responsible for this because you decided to go out of your way to vote for an Edomite, right? A heathen. And when was this? This was 1920, right? 1920. And you would think that coming right out of slavery, that an Edomite doesn't have your best interest at heart. You would think that, okay, well, look, we just got out of slavery. I'm done with these damn devils. No, their mentality was Massa freed us. He's not that bad. He got us out of slavery. There's more good white men. This white man's better than that white man. And they did that too for sorcery, to play on your mind, man. You know? So, you know, the single bloodiest day in American political history is because of idolatry. It says, look at this. Let me jump down. It reads, most African-American owned buildings and residences in northern Osoe were burned to the ground. Other African Americans living in southern Osoe were later killed or driven out of town by the threat of further violence being used against them. Thus, Osoe became an all-white sundown town. And it was to stop, look at this, look how they did you. Disenfranchisement of the Reconstruction era. Look at this. Look at the Negro. Look how they do you. Negro suffrage. Meaning you have allowed to vote. Look how they do you, man. They don't respect you, man. Why are you voting? You've always been nothing to them. And they're showing, they're making fun of your features. You know? Burning you down to the ground, killing you. And I want to pull up one more thing real quick. This was something I saw. This was a literacy test. I'm not sure if brother seen this. It was a Louisiana literacy test. And you couldn't vote unless you passed this test. So let me pull this up. And they actually put the test out here. And I looked at it. I said, damn, I wouldn't be allowed to vote, man. Look at these questions. This is called disenfranchisement, where they systematically break you down to stop you from having the same rights as the Edomites. Now look at this test, right? It says, do what you're told, and it gave this to Jake. Do what you're told in each statement, nothing more, nothing less. Be careful, as one wrong answer denotes failure of the test. You get one wrong, you can't vote. And you got 10 minutes. Now look at these questions. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. Well, how do you draw a line around something? Right? So you will fail off of that. You know? And then where's the number? This is confusion. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. What number? What letter? And they got 10 minutes. Time is ticking. And Jake is scratching his head, trying to figure out what's going on.
And Esau looking at them while they do it.
Yeah. So this is impossible. Draw a line under the last word in this line. Cross out the longest word in this line. Draw a line around the shortest word in this line. You can't draw a line around something. So this is set up for you to fail. Now check this out. Circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line. What does the first letter mean? Now it says, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but you try to take this test on your own, man, and you're going to fail. And you got 10 minutes, right?
Hold on. Oh, my bad. I was going to say, did you see number 10? You got it.
Oh, yeah, this is the one. So I was looking at this with my rib, and we was looking at it like it's impossible. And this number 10 was the most impossible one. And number 11. It says, in the first circle below, write the last letter of the first word beginning with L. And it took me 10 minutes to figure it out. The last letter of the first word beginning with L, which would have to be last. That's the last, and T, it would be T. Wait.
Right. I'm not going to give Esau the satisfaction, you know.
Hold on, the first circle. See, I'm still trying to, so this is sorcery, man. You have to write T in a letter with the circle with the number 1 right there. So this was a literacy test. They gave you Negroes. And if you passed it, they kill you. You know? Now you can think you're a smart Negro if you want to, back in the day. Who does this nigger think that he is? He passed the damn test. And they'll be waiting to lynch you and follow you home and kill you, man, in Louisiana. You know? So they don't respect you, man. You're going out of your way to vote for a system that never has respected you, man. The brothers got it.
I was going to just make one point, like the brother stated in the comments. Bon Yawasab, you know, that's a bunch of shenanigans.
Right.
That's quite literally the definition of shenanigans. And in addition to that, a lot of our, you know, grandparents or parents may say, well, your ancestors died for the right to vote. And that's in that mindset mentality, it's the same reason why you're lost.
Right.
That's the same reason why you lost. That's the same reason why you're sorry. You know, same reason why you don't want to repent. It's buffoonery.
That's right.
It's sick. It's perverted, to be honest. And yeah, that's just. Yeah, I'll say that again. You have to be one dumb Negro to utter the statement, your ancestors died so you can vote. Well, if you believe in any page of the Bible, you'll understand that the Lord is against America, Babylon. It's against this place. When is the Lord ever with these candidates? You really wholeheartedly believe that the Most High God is rooting for America to change and get better, but at the same time also destroy it? Why would he want to destroy something that he's kind of rooting for at the same time? The Lord isn't double-minded. The Lord has his mind set on what he wants for America, and that's for riots and destruction to happen. The Lord has no intention of this place getting better and becoming a utopia. With that, I yield.
Come. See that? Look at number 11 real quick. Cross out the number necessary when making the number below 1 million. You have to cross out more than one number, but they're telling you can only cross out one number. And what does a Negro know about 1 million back in the day? You know? So this stuff is, like I said, these are the things they gave you, these tests. You got 10 minutes to answer all these damn questions, 23 questions. Draw a figure.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is square in a shape, divided in half by drawing a straight line from the northeast corner to the southwest. How do you know what the northeast corner is? Just when you thought you was on fire, you get the question 25. And then you got to draw a figure that is square in shape, and you don't got no space. Then you got to divide it in half by drawing a line from the northeast corner to the southwest corner. Then divide it once more by drawing a broken line. You got to divide it, but draw a broken line. So it ain't going to be fully divided. From the middle of the western side to the middle of the eastern side. So this is madness. But again, you
in verse
come.
oh, Salaki, I was about to say and number 21 don't make no sense. It says
20,
print
man.
the word vote upside down. How do you print it? How can you print it if it's a written test?
Damn.
Print the word vote upside down. So right.
Spell backwards forwards.
Yeah.
But in the correct order.
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. You got 25 questions. You know? And then you gotta get it done. So, and again, even if you pass, I guarantee they waiting there. And this is they say this the 60s. I thought this was the 20s. This is the 60s. So this should teach you how they feel about you. Let me go to Amos, the first chapter, real quick, in verse 11. Right? Now, if they gave you Negroes a damn test today, man, I wonder what would happen. They should give you a test to stop you from sinning against the Most High. Right? This all the damn. Let me read this. This is Amos 1 and 11. Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So from the time of the creation with Cain and Abel in Genesis, all the way up to the time of Jacob and Esau, all the way up to today's time, you see the wrath of Esau manifest his hatred, his murder. He's looking to kill. So if you get caught up in these race riots that are coming on the earth, this civil war, these tensions of the election, if you get caught up in this thing, that's on you. Because the Most High has warned you. You have received the charge. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Then the Lord say, woe unto them that go down to Egypt, that trust in the shadow of Egypt. So they're looking to riot, man. These people are looking to murder. And you have no business with this. This isn't your fight. Read 2 Chronicles. Read about Josiah. He tried to hop into a fight he had nothing to do with. And what happened to Josiah? He tried to disguise himself, and he got put to death. Stop meddling in matters that have nothing to do with you. We already have our own government upon the shoulders of Yahweh Shah. We have our own officials, officers. Zechariah 12, we're going to have governors, man. Isaiah 1, we have officers. We're forming a government right now. Let me get one more quick precept, quick precept. This Daniel 2 and 44, right? This Daniel chapter 2 and 44. It reads, and in the days of these kings, which is today, shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So the Most High is raising up a kingdom right now, which are the Israelites, the elect. And our kingdom isn't a 4-year, 8-year term. Our kingdom is eternal, man. And you got to weigh this in the balance. Do you want an eternal kingdom with everlasting life, slaves, dominion? I know you Negroes don't want slaves. Why I gotta have slaves? I just want to be with Jesus. No, the promise is you're gonna have slaves, land, immortality. You know, you're gonna have islands. You're gonna have, you know, your own ships. You know, and boats and chariots, and you're gonna have peace. You're gonna have righteousness, and you're willing to compromise that and breach that to vote for an Edomite, and the jury's still out on what Kamala Harris is. Is she a Benjamite? Is she an Elamite? Is she an Edomite? The jury's still out on that. You know, but brothers got it.
Yeah, you got a yard down.
Yeah, brothers got it.
If brothers had, I'm gonna play this quick clip real quick. Now, this is a 52-second clip. This is a ballot box that's set on fire. So out there in Portland, out there in the West Coast, they're already burning ballot boxes. Right? They're already burning ballot boxes. Now, this is fair use. Hold on, let me play this. This is fair use. They're already burning ballot boxes. I'm gonna play this quick clip if they allow me to. Right? So like it, bear with me. Satan got this thing going slow. Do brothers see the screen?
Not yet.
Okay, let me see if I can. All right, so it should be showing. Now this is fair use. Check this out.
Hundreds of ballots stuffed in drop boxes went up in
Brothers hear it?
Hundreds of ballots stuffed in drop boxes went up in flames on the West Coast. And now
Fair
the search
use.
is on for whoever set that fire. One in Oregon, the other in Washington State, both found on fire. And authorities say this was no accident. In all, hundreds of ballots went up in flames. So the search is on for the arsonist. Officials are calling this a, quote, direct attack on democracy, while also trying to reassure voters.
So people are mad, man. People are voting and putting their votes in there, and people are going in and burning it up. This is America. This is not this shows you that this is not your great-great-grandfather's America. Like we always say, this isn't the Leave It to Beaver days, the Brady Bunch days, the damn drive-in theater, you know, damn Shake Shack, damn jukebox, apple pie in the windowsill, honey, I'm home, briefcase, slick back Edomite, man, housewife Edomite, you know, the damn Edomite boy got the cowboy hat on, playing cowboys and Indians. The little girls playing, you know, the piano. Those days are over with, man. Now you have Edomites burning other Edomites' damn votes, man, in the boxes. So this society is finished.
Direct attack on democracy, while also trying to reassure voters.
They might try to blame.
We want to make sure that voters are confident with whatever choice they make, whether it is with mailing it through our USPS partners, whether that is putting that in their local ballot box, which might be their library, or whether it's one of our 24-hour drop sites.
Authorities are also trying to figure out who cast those burned ballots so they can have the opportunity to cast their vote again.
How you gonna figure that out?
Hundreds of
So you see what's going on, man. We're showing you that this society is finished. It is collapsing in front of your face, man. And America, Slakia, America is not what you thought it was. It's a society, it's a shadow of its former self. It's collapsing. The Edomites are against the Edomites. The right wing against the left wing. And again, we're praying to Yahweh Shema Shai that these curses are made manifest. And there is riots, looting, violence, gunshots, glass breaking, madness going on. And you're going to have a lot of witches out there like we went into. You got witches out there right now as we speak, casting spells, man. You got Christians out there calling him King Cyrus. You got Jake out there voting. You got brothers up there throwing up curses. You got Edomites getting their guns ready. Everybody's getting ready on some form of level, spiritually or physically, man. Right? But brothers got it. We could bring out closing precepts.
You had anything you already done?
Nah.
Okay, calm. I'm gonna bring this precept out in Revelation. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 2. It says, "Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before Yahweh. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee." Right? So, like we always say, week in and week out, make sure that everybody's examining their spirit, staying on fire for the Most High. Because at any given day, the Lord could call you home, right? Nobody knows when your hour is going to come. You could be removed out of this truth, right? Or the Lord could come like a thief in the night. So you want to make sure that you're always watching, because you never know what's going to come about in the last days. Brothers, God.
It say in Sirach 35 and 4, "Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord, for all these things are to be done because of the commandment." And on a high spiritual level, the Lord is requesting that we bring forth our works, praying and fasting, loving our brothers, building up our households, studying, reading, anything to occupy our time being here in Babylon the Great. And if you fail to even desire to bring forth your fruit unto the Lord, he's going to curse you the same way he cursed that tree. The Lord can cut you down. The Lord can do whatever he sees fit. So in these last days, it's imperative that us as Israelites make sure that we're bearing even the fruits of the Spirit on a carnal level. So with that, I yield.
And I saw this on the comment board real quick, so I looked it up. Just real quick, one more point. It says they will also try to prevent us from voting. You have to guess how many jelly beans was in a damn jar. And if you was wrong, you wasn't allowed to vote. So this stuff is set up to get you to fall. And I can imagine Jake in a long ass line to get to the ballot, and he see a damn jar of beans. Count it, Negro. Don't touch it. Put your hands off, boy. And they sit there, they try to figure it out, and they're dead wrong, man. Right? So this stuff is beyond oppression, right? But this is Revelation, right? Chapter 22, and I'm gonna read verse number 12. "And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be." So, we bring this out all the time. We want to, examine ourselves and make sure that our faith and how much we say we believe and how much we in the spirit feel like we believe in the Most High, it should be made manifest in our works. The Lord said, "Talk no more exceeding proudly, neither let arrogancy come out of your mouth, for the Most High is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed," in 1 Samuel chapter 2 and 3. So all of our actions are going to be weighed in the balance. So you want to magnify the works. That's reading, studying, exhortation, alms, checking on brothers, praying, fasting, congregating. There are many things we can do as a nation, and there's always work that has to be done. So with that, we're going to close up. Giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Yahushua. Brother Naquan,
Shalom, brother. Right.
Brother Yardan, Shalom.
Kwam Yasha. Shalom.